Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. So we have our theme today, which is International Day of Kindness. All right, let me just read the club mission for today, which is we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which our members are empowered to enhance their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence, personal growth, and achievement of their Toastmaster goals and those of personal growth leaders Toastmasters Club. So that is our club mission. And with that, I'm just going to transfer this to the Toastmaster of the day. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Somesh.
Thank you very much, Madam Sergeant at Arms, Table Topics Master and Timer. You're doing a number of roles today, so thank you so much for that. In terms of the theme of this meeting, it is International Day of Kindness, and the word of the day that has been provided here is altruistic. So we should try and use that word as much as we can during the meeting. In terms of the International Day of Kindness, I think, kindness is something that is, it's probably, we know from our experiences that it is something that is very important in terms of our existence, that we should, all our dealings should be based on kindness, and there's no harm in keeping that reminder as much as possible. Sometimes what happens is we take things for granted. For example, in this world, for example, if we want to exist, we need oxygen, and oxygen is there so easily available that we take it for granted. But if that thing is taken away from us, our survival will be at risk. And so I think this is the challenge with all these things that we take for granted. But the moment that is taken away from us, then we realize so important it was. So I think kindness is like that. It is something like oxygen, literally, because it's there in all our dealings on a day-to-day basis. It is on the basis of kindness that we deal with people, and it becomes a norm. But when that goes missing in some occasions, immediately we realize that, oh, something is going wrong here, and we are in a different environment. So I guess it's always good to keep focus in mind and have gratitude that we have this world where majority of population is kind to each other. And if something happens where unfortunately there are frictions between peoples and communities, at the end of the day, we should always send out the positive vibes to the world. And as a group, if everyone can do it together, hopefully there will come a time when all the conflicts and everything will be lessened, because the general mass of population wants kindness to be the basis of existence. So with that, I would like to start our meeting, which goes in the pie way, which is the prepared speeches, then we have the impromptu speaking, and then we have the evaluation section. So today we have the speaker, Anvita, who is doing the speech from Dynamic Leadership Evaluation and Feedback, Project 1. And the title is The Branch. The Branch, Anvita Hegde.
Anvita, let go of the branch. Good day, dear Toastmasters. When I was 6 years old, I had climbed a tree to retrieve my kite, which was tangled in one of its branches. I did manage to untangle it, but as I looked down for my return journey, I got scared. What if I fall down? I wondered. Due to my anxiety, I started feeling dizzy. I lost my grip and ended up dangling from the same branch. Oh God, please save me. I'll be a good girl. I prayed with my eyes closed. Anvita, I will catch you. A voice said. When I opened my eyes, I saw my 13-year-old cousin with his arms extended. He is only 13 years old. How can he catch me? I'm better off holding on to this branch. I thought. Creak, creak. The branch started making some weird noises. Anvita, the branch will break. My cousin shouted. I opened my eyes and let go of the branch, landing straight in his arms. Thump! It was the branch which fell few seconds later. I was very glad that I trusted him and let go of the branch. Which branch are you holding on to, Toastmasters? It's time to trust and let go. We humans love to hold on to the branch called as certainty and control so that we can feel safe and secure. However, to be truly happy in life and grow, we have to trust and let go. It is very easy to tell, but difficult to put in action, especially in my life when everyone were doing everything wrong. For example, one of my juniors was working on a document. The information was all over the place. I said, I'll teach you how to format it tomorrow. He nodded his head, but I knew that as soon as I went out of his cubicle, he rolled his eyes. I visited my sister. She was peeling carrots. I said, Hey, give it to me. I'll do it neatly. She rolled her eyes and did not even hide it. My maid was doing the dishes. I said, I'll show you how to do it with less water and faster. Her face reddened with anger. She controlled her urge to roll her eyes. Let me do that. Let me do this. I was doing everything for everyone. One day, I heard my junior talking to my manager. Sir, please change my team. I don't want to work under Anvita. She is very bossy. I feel as if I can never be good around her. I felt sad and surprised. I thought I was being altruistic. I wanted everything to go well, but I was suffocating people. They were gasping for air. The next day, my manager gave me the talk which I was expecting. Anvita, please learn to trust others and trust yourself. Otherwise, you'll be a control freak. Nobody wants to be around. Her words were true, isn't it? How many of you can relate to the need of being in control of everything? It feels good, but if you want to grow in life without any stress or worry, you have to come out of your comfort zone and release control. I decided to do that. The results were remarkable. My junior started doing more on his own. He even helped me with my work. The other day, I went back home to a wonderful smelling kitchen. It was my sister who had baked a carrot cake for me. I was very happy that I allowed her to experiment in my kitchen. Now my kitchen is filled with sparkling utensils, but that's because I purchased a new dishwasher. Who wants an angry maid? I started trusting myself too. I always wanted to do rock climbing, but I highly doubted my stamina. Eventually, I joined a trekking group. I have done rock climbing 4 times now. Till yesterday, I did not even have a speech ready. Let me cancel my speech slot, I thought. But then I trusted the message which I wanted to deliver. I trusted the audience to listen to my speech. That's why here I am. Dear Toastmasters, it's pretty scary to release control, just like releasing the branch you are dangling from. But to be truly happy in life, we have to trust and let go. Trust yourself. Trust others. Trust me on this. Will you? Back to the tier one.
Huge round of applause for a very engaging speech in terms of the branch. And you use the word of the meeting as well, which is really great. Congratulations on that. So we have only one speech today. I think Sabraya was supposed to do the speech, but she's not able to make it, it looks like. So now we go to the next part of the meeting, which would be the topic session. And I think we can probably have at least, it's around 1/4 past, so we can have until probably half an hour or something, or 25 minutes. And it'll be interesting, I think, because each of us will need to speak more, which is okay, I would say. It's a different mindset I think we'll need to have in terms of doing this. So over to our table topics master, Rosie. Thank you very much, Rosie.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. All right. So what I'm trying. Okay, let us go one round, and then after that, I think whoever turn, then he's going to give a question to the other person. So I'll start off with the one question. So who's going to start? Sorry, I didn't see. Kaushal, thank you, Kaushal. So your question.
Wait, so I asked somebody else a question? Or
No, I asked you the question. Let me ask all the three first, and then after that, we get the other ball rolling. All right. Okay, can you think of a time someone showed kindness to you? Kaushal, can you think of a time someone showed kindness to you? Kaushal, over to you.
Madam Topic Master and fellow Toastmasters, I can think of many times when someone has shown kindness to me. One part that stands out is when I was walking down the streets of Chicago and I slipped and fell. And right away, a lady came and helped me up, even though she probably weighed only half as much as I did. But she lifted me up to my feet. Years later, I repaid that kindness when I saw somebody who had walking issues fall right over. I was not the closest to that person, but other people were just walking by, not coming to that person's aid. So I went over, helped him up. It was quite difficult for me to help him up, because because of his disabilities, he had trouble getting up. But we kind of worked as a team to get him back on his feet. And that kind of reminds me of other times when I've seen people being kind to each other. So yeah, I think it kind of ties to what Samesh was saying earlier. The world really revolves around kindness. At times it seems to revolve around money. At times it seems to revolve around conflict, but really the only reason the world functions at all is because people are kind to each other. Madam Topic Master.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Kaushal. I like that. Yes, it's contagious kindness. If we show kindness to others, then probably one time or another it helps us as well. So that goes another question which relate to that as well. So who's going to go next? Somesh, okay. TM Somesh, the question for you. What goes around comes around. What goes around comes around. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Topics Master. Absolutely. I think it's evident in our day-to-day activities, every moment, I think, because the beginning of going around comes from our own mind, actually. That is the beginning of going around. So if in our mind we have, unfortunately negative thoughts or things like that, it is not only affecting us as a person, unfortunately, it is affecting others who we are coming in touch with as well. So it begins with us, as I say. So that's why it's really important to take care of oneself, because as I say, you cannot give from an empty cup. So if we want to be really altruistic, the altruism need to start from our own self, in terms of being good to one's own self. So this is generally something that unfortunately is lacking, I think, in the contemporary context, where sometimes we have a lot of kindness and a lot of generosity and compassion for others, but we might be hard and harsh on ourselves. And that is something that we should always be aware of, that as much compassionate, kind, and generous we are towards others, we should be towards ourselves as well. There are times when things might not work out as we plan it to be, or we might do some mistakes, which in the hindsight, we might feel that we should not have done that. But even in those cases, we should be able to forgive ourselves and move on, learn the lesson from the mistakes and move on. So in order to answer your question of what goes around comes around, the first thing that we have to analyze and be aware of is that internally, what is my feeling at the moment? What emotions I have at the moment, and be aware of the emotions that are coming in for me. And if I can do that as a start, whatever will go around will be positive, because I will know that if I'm in a negative state of mind, I need to be aware of that so that I don't do anything harsh during that time. I stay quiet and I try and let that pass, and then wait for the things when my emotion settles down and I'm positive. So being aware of that is extremely important. And then what goes around comes around will always be positive in that case. Thank you very much, Madam Topics Master.
Thank you. For sure. All right. Now the next question will go to Anvita. All right. Now your question relate to again what DTM Somesh spoke about just now. Be kind to ourselves first. So how do you show kindness to yourself? Anvita, how do you show kindness to yourself? Anvita, over to you.
By following both my heart and mind, I show kindness to myself. Good day, dear Toastmasters. 5 years ago, I was invited to my friend's party. I was all excited. I had prepared weeks in advance for this party. There were a variety of dishes on the dining table at this party. It looked very yummy. But as I took the first bite, my face reddened. It was too spicy. When I looked at my other friends, I realized that they were continuing to eat the food. I immediately texted my friend who was sitting next to me, "How are you eating such spicy food?" She said, "I have to eat it, Anvita, otherwise the host will feel bad." There was an internal fight between my mind and heart. My mind did not want to disappoint the host, but my heart did not want to disappoint my stomach and tongue. Ultimately, I decided to skip eating the dish. I told the host the truth. She did not feel bad at all. My friend, who finished the spicy food completely, had a severe stomach upset the next day. In other things too, I try to keep my mind and heart in harmony. For example, 2 days ago, my manager gave me a load of work that would have meant working over the weekend. I told him upfront that I'm going to do it next week. If he can wait, then fine. If not, I cannot meet the deadline. He gave it to another colleague, and tomorrow I have plans to shop till my heart's content, which makes me happy. Dear Toastmasters, you should be your first priority. Do that by showing kindness to yourself. Always follow your mind and heart. Back to the table topic master.
Thank you, Anvita. All right, now we are going to go for our second round now. I think I'll get back to Kausho. All right, your question. Okay, your question is, why kindness is important in our life? Why kindness is important in our life? Kausho.
I saw a movie yesterday on Amazon that some of you may have heard of. The movie came out in 1981. It's an Indian movie called Silsila. Now, Silsila is a movie about friendships and relationships. But the title of the movie, Silsila, means affair. So that implies that there is something wrong with these relationships. But I think in the end, what everybody learns in the end is that kindness can cut through all the complicated matters. The heart is really complex. Emotions are really complex. And I think in the end, the movie proposes that if you are struggling with matters of the heart, one way to get through that struggle and find your destiny is through kindness. I recommend watching this movie. It was quite enjoyable. It had amazing music, music that I I've heard since I was a child, but I did not know was all in this movie. It was the first time I've seen it. So it's not just a movie with a good lesson, but a lot of enjoyable moments. Back to you, Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Osho. Right, so yes, I agree with you on that too. All right, let's go to our next speaker, which is Anvita. Oh, no, Somesh, sorry. Somesh, I think that's the other way around. All right. Question for you. Sorry, Anvita. A question for you. Kindness is contagious. Kindness is contagious. Somesh.
Thank you very much, Madam Topics Master. Absolutely. And this is something nice that is contagious. Like we had, unfortunately, the situation where we had the devastating COVID-19 that came in. And it caused lots and lots of hassles across the whole globe, literally. That was another contagious disease, which really caused havoc across the whole world, literally. And it's quite interesting to this word contagious. If you try and understand this word contagious, it's very interesting word because the way we are behaving with others, that becomes contagious, literally. So, for example, if I get angry at another person who I meet, and that person gets the anger that I have, right? So basically, what I'm doing is I am seeding my anger in another person, and then that person becomes angry, and then that person becomes angry and talks angry to another person. So that is what contagious is all about, isn't it? That we have some seed within ourselves, and that seed is being dispersed across to whoever we are coming in contact with, and that seed is growing into a tree within someone else, if you want to take it that way. So I think it's really important to be mindful of that, and this really very nicely gels with the previous topic that that you had mentioned about what goes around comes around. It is exactly that is what contagious is about, right? So when we are in this world dealing with people, it is extremely important to understand the perspective of another person as well. I was hearing an interview of an FBI agent, and he was telling that the thing that distinguishes a person who is normal to a person who is really excellent is that a normal person has a perception, and perception is based on my own thinking. And a person who is excellent has got perspective. What it means is that person understands what the perspective the other person is coming from. So when that perspective is there, then we can change our behavior according to what the person's situation is, right? So for example, sometimes some other person might not be in a good mood, but if we can try and understand why that is happening to that person, we can be compassionate to that person instead of us also becoming angry like the other person. So we can be an antidote to bad contagious things happening. So with that, I would like to hand over. Thank you very much.
Thank you, BTM. Somesh. All right. Amvita, now is your time. Sorry about the just now, the hiccup just now. Okay, now the question for you. Question for you. So, kindness will make this world a happier place. So the question for you is that why kindness is important in our life? Why kindness is important in our life, Anvita?
Kindness is important for our survival. Good day, Toastmasters and your guests. When I was very young, I had trouble focusing in the class. I would look out of the window, talk to my benchmates. Sometimes I would run away from the class. Whatever the teacher did, how much ever she punished me, I just wouldn't listen to the class. One day, the school counselor took me aside and said, Anvita, what is happening? Why can't you listen in the class? It's boring, I said. I was upfront. She then said, Anvita, do one thing. You come to me every day after the class. Whatever your teacher has taught you, draw and show it to me. Now, I was very interested in drawing. She knew it. Her tactic worked. I began to listen very attentively in the class so that I get the opportunity to draw everything and show it to the counselor. Gradually, my grades improved. When I reached 10th grade, I topped my school. The kindness of one person got me interested in studies. 3 days ago, I helped a dog which was run over by a car. It was writhing in pain. I took it to a vet, and the vet said that if hadn't come any sooner, the dog would have lost its life. I helped the dog survive, and the counselor helped me survive in this competitive world. Dear Toastmasters, a little bit of kindness can change somebody's world. We are surviving because of the kindness of others. Show kindness, spread kindness. Back to the table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amrita. Yes, it's contagious. Kindness is contagious, and kindness will make this world a better place. With that, I think that's all the time that we have for our table topics tonight. And I would like to hand over back to Toastmaster of the Day, Distinguished Toastmaster Somesh.
Thank you very much, Madam Topics Master. It's a nice set of topics. It is really the bedrock of our existence, literally, I would say, in terms of, and it's taken for granted. I think that is one of the things that happens. And interestingly, the things that are taken for granted are the most important things in our life. Just as I mentioned in the beginning, like for example, oxygen. That's taken for granted because that's why we live. If oxygen is taken away for some moments, we're going to go into the state of dying, literally. And that basically, if we take example of someone going through depression, for example, why is that happening? Why someone goes through depression? The reason is because they have identified with some kind of negative thought, and that negative thought is just ruling their lives, literally. So they have totally forgotten that is going on in the background. So it is really important to be aware of what is going on for us at this particular moment. What feelings, what emotions, what thoughts are coming in, and be aware of that. I think that is most important thing. And unfortunately, the cases of depression, what is happening is the person is unfortunately not even aware that this has happened, and then it becomes part of life. Living that way in a negative kind of feeling becomes part of life, and then at a certain point in time, person, unfortunately takes drastic steps and all, which is really unfortunate. And that's why this mental health awareness is actually very important as well. In terms of people being open to express what is there in their mind, having some confidant with whom they can talk to. Those things are extremely important. So I just wanted to share some of that thought. Now we can go to the next part of the meeting, which is the evaluation section. And for that, I would like to invite our evaluator, Kaushal Gupta, to evaluate Anvita's speech. Over to you, Kaushal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Anvita. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to evaluate your speeches. You always have a valuable lesson to teach with an interesting story that you take either from your own life or from lessons that you have learned from others. I think you were really strong when it came to your expressions. You combined vocal variety with hand gestures and facial emotions. You were really good at bringing out the scene when you were climbing the tree, of when your boss was talking to you. You're really good at painting the scene, and that puts us in the scene and makes us feel what you were going through. You even had sound effects for the branch as it broke. And you tied the opening scene into your theme pretty nicely as well, into learning to trust and let go. You and you not only made that your theme and the lesson, you also talked about why it's difficult. You not only told us what we should do, but you acknowledged it's difficult for us to do this. And the reason it's difficult is because you have to actually come out of your comfort zone in order to trust others and yourself. And that really got me thinking, wait, isn't it more comfortable to trust others and to trust myself? Because if you're trusting people, that does that mean you're in the comfort zone? And you demonstrated, no, it's not what that means. Because we find comfort in control, not in trusting others, but we find comfort in that feeling of control. And that's what we need to let go of, the feeling of control, of needing to control. So that I think you really did a good job of getting that lesson across through your examples. I also liked how you used repetition, the rolling of eyes. You used that 3 times. So that was a good way to reinforce how others were reacting to you. There were here's where I think this speech could have improved. So first, your audio was a little unclear. It was not that bad, but every now and then there was a word that I could not make out. So there was something technical going on with your audio. And because I was not able to make out every word, maybe that led to the next issue I found is that towards in the end of your speech, when you were talking about the positive things that happened when you learned to trust others, I had trouble understanding the connection. Like you were talking about your sparkling kitchen, and I thought, wait, how did trusting somebody lead to your kitchen being nicer? I didn't quite get that. And the final thing is how you ended your speech. You said, "Trust me on this, will you?" So that was a good way to reinforce the lesson of trust. But I thought there must be a way to make it stronger. You're always great at opening and concluding your speeches. So that's not a bad way to end your speech, but I bet you could think of something, a better way. So see if you can think of something like that. So, but I think it was a speech that not only taught us a good lesson, but also acknowledged that it's not a lesson that is easy to learn and something that we need to work on. I think that's the most valuable part of your speech, Mr. General Evaluator.
Give a round of applause to Kaushal for a great evaluation. So as the general evaluator, my role would be to evaluate the evaluator. And in terms of that, Kaushal, very well done in terms of the way you have evaluated. Generally, we talk about the CRC, comment, recommend, comment, like a sandwich approach, and you have done it very well in terms of the flow of your evaluation speech. You started off commending and giving lots of praise for all the good things, and then in between you had 3 suggestions which could get the speech to the next level, which I'm sure Anvita would have appreciated in terms of incorporating it in the next speeches. And then in the end, you ended up with praising again. So this is the general structure that is recommended within Toastmasters, and it makes sense as well because if the end message is good, I think as human beings, I think, but of course, we are all advanced Toastmasters here, and we have done, like Anvita has done, probably hundreds of speeches, I would say. So that way, we have got more, receptive power in terms of understanding what the constructive feedback is. And I think it's really important that we keep doing that. Of course, if someone is totally new to Toastmasters and doing an icebreaker, we would be a little bit more careful in terms of keeping them encouraged so that they can continue their momentum of speaking. So I think it's really good that you have brought in those recommendations, and thank you so much for your evaluation for that. Now, I think we'll go to the next part of the meeting, which would be the report from timer. Rosie, over to you, Rosie. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, timer. Today we started the meeting on time. And for the speech, Anvita, you spoke right on the dot, 7 minutes. Okay, congratulations to you. For the table topic, mostly on time, but 1 or 2 few second extra, like 10 seconds of the 2 minutes given. And I think the TM so much a big overshow, about 3 minutes and 13, I think, but the message that you are giving was important, so thank you for that. But the timing is a bit off there, but there are a lot of value that you give us. And for evaluation, Kaushal, you over time also 4 minutes and 10 seconds, but it was my mistake because I overlooked on the yellow of the timing when it turns yellow. So it's straight way to red. Sorry about that. So that's it. I think back to you, Toastmaster.
Very much, Rosie, for a nice evaluation of the timings. I think today's meeting, because the number of people are less, if we go about time, probably it's still fine, I think, because you don't have too many people. But of course, if it is a competition, I think if you're taking this as a competition, then that is really important that we take care of the times allocated. And generally, there is a 30 seconds leeway as well, I think, in all the like if we take a contest, for example, if it's 5 to 7 minutes, person can speak up to 7 minutes, 30 seconds. So that 30 seconds grace is always there in this contest as well, which is really great. Okay, so now we don't have like grammarian. There was the word of the day, altruism, which is a very wonderful word in terms of the International Day of Kindness that we are kept the theme of the meeting as. And I've heard that being used a few times, which is really good, I think, in terms of trying to incorporate those words. And sometimes these words might sound a little bit odd when we are speaking in a day-to-day basis. But I think, and this is what the word of the meeting actually helps us to understand, that some words might seem a little bit out of not being used in a colloquial way, but it's still important that somehow or other we incorporate it and then when more people start using it, it becomes a colloquial word. For example, I think Oxford Dictionary, or I'm not sure which dictionary, they actually said the word of the year for 2023 was AI, it seems. I heard that. And AI by itself is not a word. It's an abbreviation for artificial intelligence. But interestingly, they have put it as the most prominent word of the year for 2023. That's interesting. I think the way these words have their own life in terms of them not being used for a very long time, and suddenly it picks up and lots of people use that word, and then it becomes a very prominent word. It's quite an interesting thing to understand here. So yeah, in terms of how the meeting went, I think we did great as usual, even though there are so many challenges that are happening with low numbers. Thank you so much for taking multiple roles, and turning up itself is a great thing. I think in these situations where the number of members are quite less, everyone turning up to the meeting is a great thing in the first place. And then, of course, when we learn from each other, that is like the icing on the cake, as they say. So first of all, meeting each other, and then everyone sharing their experiences and learnings, which really helps us to grow as a person, I think. Because at the end of the day, they say that if speech is silver, then silence is golden. There is a saying like that. So unless we are saying something that is valuable, it is better to keep quiet. And it's really important to kind of understand that aspect, because when we are silent and when we are introspecting within us, there is something that will happen which will be magical. In the contemporary context, what happens is there are so many distractions, and our mind always wants to get distracted. But for some time, if we can keep the mind away from distraction and just go inside in silence, we'll understand the unlimited value of silence as well. So with that, I would like to conclude. I was just, blabbering a little bit because we have a good bit of time as well. There's still 10 minutes left. So if there is anything else that we should be discussing now, maybe we can discuss. Thank you very much. Anything to talk about?
Well, I just want to mention that. Sorry, go ahead. Oh,
Okay.
I just wanted to mention the latest newsletter is out, and I've got a little article there, and I think Vita contributed a really nice poem to it too. So
congratulations.
Yeah,
it's a great idea from Teresa, actually. Yeah, it's great that you have participated in it. I think it's really good. Yeah, something extracurricular, as they say.
Yeah. So I just encourage all of us to think about what to put in the next issue, and send Teresa our ideas and our offers to write something for the newsletter.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for the reminder, Roshali. Very good.
Sure. Yeah, I may not be coming next week because it's a public holiday. So I think my kids are coming back